other contexts. According to Mother Jones, Bannon hosted Gaffney on his show a whopping 29 times, and he was full of praise for Gaffney's work.
You've been saying these attacks in Paris are coming, these attacks in the United States are coming. You've been amazingly consistent. And like I tell people, I've never said Gaffney's got something wrong. Everything you've been saying has been coming true.
I'm joined now by someone who knows all about Frank Gaffney and his acolytes in the White House, Medea Hussein, a staff attorney at Muslim Advocates, lead organizer of End the Hate Coalition. Medea, for folks that aren't familiar with Frank Gaffney, how would you characterize him and his views?
Thanks so much for having me today. Frank Gaffney is someone that has been known for perpetuating hateful rhetoric about American Muslims and painting a broad brush across an entire community. Painting this picture that no matter who this Muslim person is, there's something to be suspicious about. There's something that you should be worried about with your neighbors and doctors and lawyers and teachers that are Muslim, because according to him, any Muslim person in a mosque or on the street has something that they are going to do that's going to target other people. So he's developed himself and established himself as an anti-Muslim proponent that is part of an extremely broad network of individuals and organizations and money that's targeting American Muslims across the country.
That part, we should just be clear, I mean, that part of the political spectrum, people like Pam Geller is another one. This is a fairly fringe, generally thought of fairly fringe. I mean, Frank Gaffney once accused Grover Norquist, who's the, head of the sort of Americans for Tax Reform and a beloved figure on the right, as being essentially a kind of crypto-Islamo-fascist, a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. I mean, this is a worldview that's deeply, deeply paranoid in a lot of directions.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you've mentioned some high-profile figures like Grover Norquist. There's other individuals that had high senior positions within the government and the administration that Frank Gaffney has called into question. He has called into question their loyalty to this country. And I think what's really important to understand is that American Muslims are just like any other American, and they're extremely loyal to the values that we hold true in this country, which are that people have the right to practice their faith. And he has really cast suspicion on an entire community simply because of their faith. He has really twisted the way that American Muslims should be viewed in this country.
Do you see a continuity between the way he talks about Islam and Muslims, and he's, I think, even said that there are hundreds of millions of people who support jihad, and the language that's coming out of the White House, even that quote today about a beachhead from the president?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just another example of exactly what he's trying to do, which is to try to say to the average American person that you should be suspicious of the American Muslim people in your community and in your neighborhood. You should be suspicious of that Muslim person that you know to be your friend, or you know to be working with you in your place of employment. And I think what's really terrifying, Chris, is that these individuals that are being put in high official positions in our White House and in the administration Frank Gaffney has a direct line into them. He has close ties with a number of the people that you've been talking about today. Steve Bannon, for example, had Frank Gaffney on his radio show numerous times. And he has direct access to these people now. And they are the people that are responsible for shaping policies in our country now. So I think it's extremely consistent, and that's what's really terrifying about it.
All right, Medea.